Inside the quiet wooden house in Xinling City, a few familiar voices gradually filled the space. Junior Zhangzhan from the Earth Hall greets the esteemed seniors. A well-built man gently pushed the door open, looking at the numerous formidable figures within before speaking up. "Sit wherever you'd like. There's no need for formality among family," said Finchen, seated at the center of the room. Within the wooden house sat the two elders of heaven and earth, Ling Mingsheng, master of the Earth Hall, Elder Qing, deputy master of the Heaven Hall, deputy master Mu Shuzi of the Human Hall, along with Finchen and Zhu Jin, a gathering of 7 powerful figures. How did it go? As Zhangzhan entered, the others couldn't help but ask. Zhangzhan was, after all, an informant strategically placed by the incense pavilion within the Xinling royal family. Sect master, given my position, I could only uncover that at least 2 Douxian powerhouses guard the 7th level of the underground palace, Zhangzhan reported gravely. One of them is an early 1-star Douxian expert, hired by the Xinling royal family at a steep price, stationed to guard the 6th level. Rumor has it that something extremely valuable lies within the 6th level, prompting the royal family to deploy a Douxian expert there, Zhangzhan explained. On the 7th level, however, the guardian is none other than Elder Xian, the father of the current Xinling king, with a mid 1-star Douxian strength. An early and a mid 1-star Douxian, that should be manageable for me alone. But I'm uncertain about the Xinling royal family's alliance with Solomon or other factions, Finchen remarked, eyes narrowing. Uncertain, replied Zhangzhan thoughtfully. But the Xinling royal family's stance towards Solomon has taken a drastic shift recently. They likely found an ally even more powerful than Solomon. And what about other forces within the underground palace? Asked one of the 2 elders of heaven and earth. Their weakest member, Mu Shuzi, is at the perfect 8-star Dou Emperor level. Elder Qing has entered the 9-turn realm, and Ling Mingsheng is at peak Dou D. The 2 elders of heaven and earth would be formidable even against a half-step Douxian, Zhangzhan noted, listing each formidable figure. Plus, we have the half-step Douxian Zhu Jin and Finchen with perfect 2-star Douxian strength, a formidable lineup. The underground palace is complex. Even I haven't uncovered everything, he added. But based on our current strength, rescuing Yanqi shouldn't be an issue. Then let's proceed, Finchen agreed, confident in the incense pavilion's power. We'll adapt as needed. Follow me, Zhangzhan said, nodding to his companions. The incense pavilion's leaders trusted him, as he had been nurtured by the sect's strongest figures, reaching the early 8-star Dou Emperor stage. Outside the wooden house, Zhangzhan transformed into a stately figure, and Finchen's group, after some subtle disguise, blended in seamlessly. Halt! As Zhangzhan approached the underground palace entrance with his group, a guard called out, wary of the number of people with him. Finchen's group noticed that the guards, at best, had 7-star Dou Emperor strength, but given their proximity to the Xinling royal family's domain, they refrained from rash moves. General Feng, what's the matter? Zhangzhan laughed, his tone becoming notably louder when he addressed the guard by title. Oh, it's Lord Zhang. The guard, addressed as General Feng, relaxed, his previous sternness dissolving instantly. Given his status as a mere enforcer for the royal family, he dared not offend Zhangzhan, who enjoyed both the king's favor and the affections of the Xinling king's daughter. What brings you here today, Lord Zhang? General Feng asked, eyeing the group warily. By order of His Majesty, I'm here to retrieve an item from the underground palace, Zhangzhan whispered low enough that only General Feng could hear. An item? It doesn't seem you'd need so many people for that. The item is a bit large, but it just so happens that my king sent some people to help with transport, Zhangzhan said confidently, not hesitating a bit as he spoke, as if he had anticipated this moment. Lord Zhang, Mystic Spirit City has been in turmoil recently. You may enter alone, but as for these others, I can't permit it. Apologies. General Feng hesitated briefly, then clenched his teeth and said firmly. Though he didn't dare offend Zhangzhan, he knew that if anything went wrong by letting these people in, he would pay dearly. Relax. I won't make this difficult for you, Zhangzhan replied calmly, understanding that General Feng was only doing his duty. Then, with a simple gesture, Zhangzhan retrieved a golden token from his storage ring. The token bore a prominent, glimmering character for Xian that exuded a soft golden glow. Upon seeing it, General Feng's expression twisted in surprise. "A gold token of the Xianling King," he exclaimed, visibly stunned. This token signified direct service to the Xianling King, who had decreed that seeing the token was like seeing him in person. "Heh, Lord Zhang. Gentlemen, please." General Feng's earlier resistance evaporated as he quickly stepped aside, gesturing them forward with a welcoming smile. With the token as proof, there was no reason to suspect anything, so he let them pass. Leading his group into the underground palace, Zhang Zhan moved forward. Just as they were about to descend fully into the palace, a strange smile flickered across Fan Tian's face, still in his disguised form. Strange, that token was indeed the Xianling King's gold token, but something seemed off. General Feng shook his head, dismissing his own doubts as he resumed his rounds. Meanwhile, Fan Tian's group had successfully entered the depths. Was that? Zhang Zhan murmured to Fan Tian and his companions as they crossed into the palace. While the Xianling King indeed possessed such a gold token, it was unlikely that he would give one to someone of Zhang Zhan's rank. After all, a Xianling token held unparalleled significance within the royal family. "I know certain details about the Xianling King." "Relax," Fan Tian assured, his group's disguises now lifted. Zhang Zhan, sensing Fan Tian's confidence, felt reassured. As a Docian, Fan Tian had the ability to fabricate a Xianling token indistinguishable to an outsider like General Feng, whose strength was only at the perfect 7-star Do D level. "Sect Master, this is as far as I can take you. From here, you're on your own," Zhang Zhan said with a shake of his head. It wasn't hesitation but caution. Revealing his identity too soon could undermine the years of work and immense resources that Incense Pavilion had invested in securing trust within the Xianling royal family. Should Fan Tian's team fail, this ensured an escape route remained open. "Understood. You can go back now," Fan Tian replied with a nod. Without another word, Zhang Zhan vanished instantly. "Have you sensed anything unusual?" Fan Tian asked Zhu Jin after Zhang Zhan's departure. Among the 7, only Zhu Jin and he possessed formidable strength, yet Fan Tian had to keep his own power hidden and could not act rashly. "There's something peculiar. I can feel faint traces of a fiery aura, though it's quite weak." Zhu Lao narrowed his gaze toward the second level of the underground palace. "But I'm also picking up Xiao Yan's presence." "Xiao Yan?" Mu Suzi, visibly confused, furrowed his brow. He couldn't imagine why Xiao Yan would be here. "Him," Fan Tian murmured, not entirely surprised. Xiao Yan was among Incense Pavilion's most promising disciples, and even someone as proud as Fan Tian held certain expectations for him. Let them be. They likely have their own plans. Fan Tian hesitated briefly, then continued. "But they're 2 of Incense Pavilion's prized talents. If something were to happen," Mu Suzi interrupted, anxious. "The dangers in the royal underground palace were not to be taken lightly. Don't worry. Without trials, how can they achieve greatness?" Fan Tian smiled, thinking of the mysterious stories he'd heard of Xiao Yan even before he had recently re-emerged from his secluded training. If Xiao Yan's talent was indeed real, he would be capable of handling the second level. If not, he wouldn't be able to gain Fan Tian's recognition. "Let's go straight to the third level. Set up a barrier at the entrance to prevent that boy from venturing further. His strength should be sufficient for the second level, but the third level would be far too dangerous," Fan Tian said, glancing back. "Let's move." With that, the 7 transformed into streaks of light, descending deeper into the palace. Meanwhile, Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying quietly appeared a short distance away, watching them disappear below. With a faint sound, a spatial vortex suddenly appeared, and in the next moment, the figures of Mu Yingying and Xiao Yan emerged from within it, tumbling directly onto the rocks below. "Where are we?" was Xiao Yan's first instinctive question. The last thing Xiao Yan remembered was sealing a battle soul in that desolate wilderness. After the sealing was complete, all of his energy had been completely drained. However, Mu Yingying had appeared right afterward, and the moment she did, a wave of destructive power swept over them. At the same time, a mysterious spatial vortex had pulled them in, and when they opened their eyes again, they found themselves here. If not for that spatial vortex, their situation would have been far more dire. After all, Xiao Yan was well aware that the elder who appeared at the end had to be a true Do Xian. A Do Xian, at Xiao Yan's current level, was nothing short of an existential threat. Yingying, are you all right? Xiao Yan asked softly as he gently nudged Yingying, who had collapsed on top of him. Ngh. Yingying, who had been unconscious, slowly woke up to Xiao Yan's calls. That power at the end? It was my brother's, Yingying immediately replied without hesitation as soon as she opened her eyes. When the spatial vortex appeared, she distinctly felt the sacred flame within her emit a burst of joy. That kind of joy could only be triggered by the presence of her brother's aura. Your brother? Xiao Yan thought to himself. Back when he had fully absorbed the Fireheart Heavenly Rock, Xiao Yan, emboldened by his breakthrough in the first level of the Flame Mantra, had ventured recklessly into the 7th layer of the underground palace. If it hadn't been for the trace of Yingying's aura on him, he would have likely fallen to the powerful guardian there. So hearing Yingying's certainty now, it was clear that her brother must be the one bound in the 7th layer, the Flame Master, Yin Qi. This should be the underground palace of the Xinling royal family, Yingying said a moment later. As Yingying spoke, Xiao Yan took in their surroundings. They were in a vast space, with pathways extending in all directions, though most were made of incredibly sturdy rock. They were perched on the edge of a steep cliff. Looking up, Xiao Yan noticed a flight of stone steps leading to the highest point, though his vision was blocked, so he couldn't see what was at the top. However, his powerful soul sensed that something terrifying awaited there. This place, it looks like a world of molten lava, Yingying exclaimed, getting up and running to the edge of the rock to take a look. A molten lava world? Xiao Yan frowned and quickly followed her. When Xiao Yan stood beside her and looked down, a surge of shock hit him. What a molten lava world this is, he muttered. Below them, several dozen meters down, the bubbling molten lava released intense heat, and small rocks that fell into it instantly disintegrated into nothingness. I wonder what's at the top. Xiao Yan's gaze was fixed on the summit of the stone steps. At that moment, something within Xiao Yan stirred with excitement. Yingying Mystic Iron Essence. He wasn't sure why it was reacting so joyfully, but it was clearly related to whatever was at the top of those steps. Shall we go up and take a look? Xiao Yan suggested to Yingying. With nothing but rocks around them and a sea of molten lava below, their only option was to ascend the steps. Let's go. Yingying, her mind still focused on her brother, nodded without hesitation. Thump, thump, thump. The two climbed the stone steps, moving towards the top. Step by step. To Xiao Yan's surprise, the stairs were not as treacherous as he had imagined. There were no obstacles, and before long, they had reached the summit. What is this? Xiao Yan and Yingying froze in awe as they took in the scene before them. In their line of sight were countless weapons. Swords, spears, halberds, axes, and more. Every type of weapon imaginable was laid out in front of them. But what caught their attention even more was the faint, ominous energy that surrounded these weapons. It was clear at a glance that they were forged by master craftsmen. Is this really the 2nd level of the Earth Palace? Xiao Yan asked, a bit surprised. Looking around at the well-stocked racks of weapons, he thought, this doesn't feel like a treasure vault at all. More like a place dedicated to weapon forging. Ahem. A soft cough sounded as a middle-aged man appeared directly above them, his face showing signs of fatigue. And who might you be? Don't you know better than to disturb someone during their midday nap? The man, approaching them with a hint of irritation, wore a blacksmith's attire. His frame was sturdy, muscles taut and imposing, exuding a power Xiao Yan couldn't quite define. We're just passing through, Xiao Yan replied with a polite smile. Passing through? You expect me to believe that? The man snorted, eyeing him suspiciously. Kid, don't play dumb with me. If you've got business, spit it out. Don't waste my time. Seeing the two of them, a striking young man and woman, the man smirked as he seemed to assess them both carefully. This man was none other than Master Lu, the top weapon forger in the Mystic Three Heavens. Not only was Master Lu a formidable 5-turn 9-star Do-D, but he was also a 9th-rank forging master, just one step short of becoming an immortal artifact master. Sir. Xiao Yan looked over at Yingying, exchanging a quick glance that conveyed their shared confusion at what Master Lu might be hiding. Oh, right, let me introduce myself. I'm a forger. Most folks call me Master Lu, he said, as though Xiao Yan and Yingying should have known. A forger? Master Lu? Could you be that Master Lu, the one renowned as the best forger in the mystic 3 heavens? Xiao Yan gasped, the name sparking immediate recognition. Elder Bamboo had mentioned this Master Lu many times, even praising him with the highest respect, which hinted at just how remarkable his skills were. Indeed, Master Lu said, his usual pride softened slightly in Xiao Yan's presence. Most people only knew that Master Lu ran a blacksmith shop in Xianling City, forging weapons to make a living. But few understood that this shop was just a front. If someone truly sought a weapon from him, they'd face prices rivaling even those of high-level alchemists, with all materials required up front. Master Lu didn't even bother to glance at ordinary metals, considering them worthless. According to him, weapons forged from such materials lacked a soul and weren't worth his effort. Even fewer knew that Master Lu had a collaboration with the Xianling King. In exchange for rare materials the king provided for his crafting, Master Lu forged weapons for selected disciples of the Xianling royal family, on the condition that they passed the king's approval and held the Xianling token that granted access to this Earth Palace's 2nd level. Thus, even if Master Lu didn't understand why the Xianling king had sent these 2 youngsters here, he assumed they were from the king's circle and expected them to seek his weapon forging expertise. To be honest, Master Lu, we're here to forge a weapon. Xiao Yan's eyes gleamed with an idea as he spoke. Yingying looked at him, startled. They'd actually come to this place following her brother's aura, not for a weapon. But before she could object, Xiao Yan clasped her hand warmly, flashing her a knowing look. Isn't that right, Yingying? Thrown off but trusting Xiao Yan implicitly, Yingying nodded. Yes, yes. Is that so? Master Lu replied, somewhat convinced. If you're looking to forge something valuable, I'm listening. But don't expect me to work with subpar materials. Those are a waste of my time. Although still skeptical, he couldn't entirely dismiss the possibility, especially since the pair didn't carry the usual arrogance of the Xianling royal family. This quieted his initial reluctance. Xiao Yan chuckled, thinking how unexpectedly they'd stumbled onto the 2nd level of the Earth Palace and encountered Master Lu. Xiao Yan knew well the power of that immortal sword. He had experienced it firsthand. But ever since their time in the forest of corpses, its energy had been fully depleted, leaving the sword dull and ordinary, barely distinguishable from a common weapon. However, now that he had the Yingying mystic iron essence, Xiao Yan was confident. Under Master Lu's extraordinary craftsmanship, this immortal sword would surely regain its true radiance. Master Lu, I wonder, is it possible to forge something from this? Xiao Yan asked without hesitation, slowly retrieving the precious Yingying mystic iron essence from his storage ring and presenting it to Master Lu. Master Lu's casual smile and self-assured expression vanished the moment he saw the Yingying mystic iron essence in Xiao Yan's hand. His eyes widened, and he couldn't help but exclaim, Yingying mystic iron essence? Yingying mystic iron essence? Master Lu's formerly lazy gaze sharpened to an intense focus, his eyes locked on the strange object in Xiao Yan's hand without a single blink. In Xiao Yan's hand, the Yingying mystic iron essence had somehow fused into one cohesive piece. Xiao Yan wasn't sure how it happened, but he guessed it could only be a good omen. Damn, it's really Yingying mystic iron essence. I've never seen this stuff in my entire life. What a stroke of luck. Without hesitation, Master Lu's figure flashed, and he appeared right beside Xiao Yan, unable to restrain a few exclamations, even letting slip a couple of curses in his excitement. As a proud artifact master, much like his identity as an esteemed alchemist, Master Lu was utterly captivated by rare crafting materials. His eyes shone with greed and excitement, ignoring all else around him. Master Lu, Xiao Yan called out, snapping Master Lu from his trance-like state. With a quick, feigned sneeze to cover his excitement, Master Lu regained his composure. Though rare herbs for high-grade pills were precious, the materials needed for crafting powerful weapons were just as invaluable. The fist-sized piece of Yingying mystic iron essence in Xiao Yan's hand. Even a finger-sized fragment of that could be fused with auxiliary materials to create an immortal-grade weapon. Immortal-grade weapons were coveted by Douxian-level experts everywhere. And here Xiao Yan had not just a fragment but a fist-sized chunk of Yingying mystic iron essence. This much could forge several extraordinary weapons. Well, might I ask, young brother, your name? Master Lu asked with a sly grin, captivated by the precious item in Xiao Yan's possession. Yin Xiao, Xiao Yan replied smoothly. As soon as he said it, Mu Yingying burst into laughter. She seemed to understand Xiao Yan's intent, and though she couldn't resist laughing, Master Lu was so engrossed in the Yingying mystic iron essence that he ignored her. Yin Xiao, now that's a fine name. Here to forge a weapon, are you? And what kind of weapon might you be thinking of? I'm the top forger across the mystic three heavens. No one here matches my expertise in crafting weapons. Master Lu couldn't contain himself, praising his skills in one breath as he eyed Xiao Yan, eagerly awaiting his response. With such a substantial piece of Yingying mystic iron essence, I'd say we could craft at least 3 immortal-grade weapons. No need. Xiao Yan shook his head. Yingying, bring it out. While the Yingying mystic iron essence was indeed precious, Xiao Yan already had the ancient ruler of heavenly flames, a weapon he was well accustomed to. Replacing it would disrupt his combat flow, so he intended to use the Yingying mystic iron essence to restore Mu Yingying's immortal sword, as she still lacked a proper weapon for battle. What? Mu Yingying looked surprised. She had assumed Xiao Yan meant to refine his heavy ruler using the Yingying mystic iron essence, since her brother had once mentioned that though divine weapons were powerful, they could grow even stronger when fused with rare materials. It's that broken sword I gave you last time, Xiao Yan clarified, thinking she hadn't heard him clearly. Oh. Mu Yingying felt a warmth in her heart at Xiao Yan's words. It was clear to her now that the doubts in her mind, fueled by the spirit of the sacred flame, were entirely unfounded. Here, a blue aura flickered around Mu Yingying, and in the next instant, a fiery red immortal sword appeared in her hand. It was the same broken immortal sword Xiao Yan had obtained from the forest of corpses. By the time he acquired it, most of the sword's residual energy had been depleted, and without a proper scabbard, it seemed no more than a piece of scrap. Not bad, Xiao Yan murmured as he took hold of the sword, immediately sensing the faint yet powerful flame energy emanating from it. With this Yingying mystic iron essence, I'd like to reforge this sword, Xiao Yan said, receiving an immortal sword that looked almost like scrap, devoid of any power. He addressed Master Lu, who was beside him. Master Lu took a closer look. This sword, a fine blade indeed. The moment the fiery red immortal sword touched Xiao Yan's hand, Master Lu's eyes suddenly fixated on the shattered sword, his admiration clear. Master, what do you mean? Xiao Yan asked, surprised. He knew of Master Lu's expertise in weapon forging, but recognizing a weapon's quality at a glance was remarkable. Even among immortal-grade weapons, this sword stands out, Master Lu remarked, a glint of regret in his eyes. But unfortunately, it's severely damaged. Then, his gaze brightened with a spark of fervor. Despite its condition, this kid possesses Yingying mystic iron essence. With such a rare amount of Yingying mystic iron essence, it's possible to forge an even better sword. But if we use this sword's base, add a few enhancements and incorporate the Yingying mystic iron essence, its power would increase by several times. Kid, you're truly something. Master Lu looked as if he wanted to pull Xiao Yan into a celebratory hug. No problem, right, Master? Xiao Yan asked. No problem at all, Master Lu replied confidently. While refining Yingying mystic iron essence is challenging, I'm a 5-turn 9-star Do D. Wait here a few days, and I'll return this sword to you in pristine condition. His voice brimmed with assurance. Xiao Yan smiled, expressing his gratitude. Thank you, Master. But a hint of worry crossed his face. Did Master Lu usually charge for such services when working with the Xinling royal family? Yin Xiao, isn't it? Master Lu muttered. His back suddenly turned to Xiao Yan. Damn it, these old foxes. Xiao Yan muttered. Realizing they'd reached the point of discussing compensation, known as the premier forge master of the mystic three heavens, Master Lu's fees were bound to be high. About that, Master Lu, regarding this, Xiao Yan started. But Master Lu cut him off immediately. Could you possibly leave a bit of that Yingying mystic iron essence? Master Lu asked earnestly. What? Xiao Yan was taken aback. What did he just say? Master Lu continued, Look, I know my forging for you is technically free, but this Yingying mystic iron essence is so rare. I've never even seen it in my life. Could you spare just a little? Don't worry. I'll make this sword exceptional. With the Yingying mystic iron essence, it'll surpass any ordinary immortal artifact others might wield. Master Lu quickly added, sensing Xiao Yan might refuse, his tone practically pleading. As long as the sword is restored, any remaining materials are yours to use as you see fit. Xiao Yan agreed with a smile. Perfect, Master Lu said, smiling broadly, a gleam of excitement flashing in his eyes. Hope he's not a lunatic, Xiao Yan muttered as he noticed the fiery ambition in Master Lu's gaze. Master Lu chuckled. Please, both of you, take a seat, he gestured, inviting Xiao Yan and Yingying to sit by a stone table nearby. These next few days, it's best not to wander around. You might find observing my forging process rather beneficial. Thank you, Master, Xiao Yan and Yingying replied, settling down. Xiao Yan handed over the Yingying mystic iron essence and the broken sword to Master Lu. Such fine treasures, Master Lu muttered as he took them, handling both the sword and the Yingying mystic iron essence with utmost care. Inside, Master Lu was already planning. He'd never doubted Xiao Yan and Yingying's identity. After all, they had been introduced by the Xinling king himself. Anyone permitted into the second level of the Xinling royal family's underground palace held the king's trust. But beyond that, Master Lu had another reason for keeping the two around. He was on the cusp of an ambitious project, one too momentous not to have witnesses. As the only forge master within the mystic three heavens capable of crafting immortal-grade weapons with his 5-turn 9-star Do-D strength, this was a unique opportunity. With the shattered immortal sword, coupled with the Yingying mystic iron essence, Master Lu had one goal, to forge a sword with sentience, a spirit-imbued immortal sword. The immortal artifacts are undoubtedly powerful, but whether they possess a spirit of their own is a crucial measure of their true strength. Previously, Master Lu's abilities were limited, and so were the materials he had at hand. But now things are different. With the priceless Yingying mystic iron essence, an incredibly rare material, such constraints are mere trifles. Let's hope he doesn't disappoint us, Xiao Yan murmured before closing his eyes to resume cultivation without delay. Watching Xiao Yan seize every moment to train, Yingying felt an inexplicable urge to gaze at him in silence, mesmerized and saying nothing. Raise the flame, Master Lu commanded, not wanting to waste any time. Extracting the Yingying mystic iron essence as soon as possible would allow him to prepare the spirit infusion for the immortal artifact. However, Master Lu hadn't mentioned that, for him, repairing the broken immortal sword was an easy task, one that didn't even require the mystic iron essence. But since Xiao Yan had requested it, he was more than willing to include it in the sword. Flames, come forth. At Master Lu's command, intense, dazzling flames enveloped the Yingying mystic iron essence on the forging platform. While these flames weren't as potent as the sacred flame or heavenly flames, they were far stronger than any ordinary fire. The broken immortal sword, made from rare materials, began to show slight signs of melting under the intense heat, but the Yingying mystic iron essence remained as solid as stone. Meanwhile, as activity buzzed on the second level of the underground palace, Fentian and his team had already reached the third level. How's the barrier setup coming along? Fentian asked Zhu Jin, who was arranging the formations behind him. It's done. With this barrier in place, Xiao Yan and his companions won't be able to enter, Elder Zhu replied calmly. Listen up, everyone, Fentian announced firmly. This mission must succeed. There is no room for failure. This could be our last chance. The group nodded in solemn understanding. Understood. But safety comes first. If the Xinling royal family has reinforcements or any unexpected powerful allies, we retreat immediately, Fentian emphasized, hoping to prepare for any surprises. Understood. With Fentian's grave tone, the others, stalwart pillars of strength for the incense pavilion, understood how critical their success was. A loss in power now would leave the pavilion vulnerable to other sects' ambitions. Move out. Fentian gave the signal, and the team advanced towards the third level of the underground palace, disappearing into the shimmering veil ahead. Interestingly, there were no passages in this underground palace. They had to enter each level sequentially. While the Xinling royal family seemed to know the secrets of free movement within the palace, Fentian's group could only take it one level at a time. Furthermore, each level of the palace was an independent space, raising curiosity about the immense resources the Xinling royal family must have invested to construct the seven-layered structure. Upon entering the third level, they found themselves on a vast, lush grassland that stretched endlessly, offering a sense of calm. Other than the verdant greenery, there was nothing in sight. So, this is the third level, someone remarked with a touch of disbelief. A strange space, Ling Mingxing muttered at the front of the group, puzzled by the boundless grassland. Legend has it that each level of the underground palace has a guardian, he added, scanning the area. But where's the guardian on this endless plain? While Fentian and Elder Zhu exchanged glances, the rest of the group shook their heads, clearly seeing nothing unusual. Shall I go? Elder Zhu asked Fentian, hinting that he had sensed something hidden within the grassland. Fentian nodded, preferring not to reveal the full strength of their group too soon. Taking his cue, Elder Zhu silently vanished before the others' eyes. Who goes there? A vigilant voice roared from somewhere above the grassland, as if sensing a presence. The third level of the underground palace, though appearing as a peaceful meadow, was anything but safe. Show yourself, a cold woman's voice echoed, as a patch of grass shifted and transformed into a middle-aged woman emerging from the earth. Her entire body, even her skin, bore a striking shade of green. So, you're the guardian of the third level? Elder Zhu observed, raising an eyebrow. He found it odd. Her strength was only that of a perfect 8-star Do D. Do you think you can enter the underground palace so easily? She sneered. An insignificant perfect 8-star Do Emperor dares to spout off in my presence? Zhu Jin suddenly laughed. The person before him was likely the guardian of the third level of the Earth Palace. Cloaked entirely in green, they blended seamlessly into the green prairie around them. If not for Zhu Jin's powerful spiritual perception, spotting them would have been nearly impossible. The Green Guardian, sensing Zhu Jin's unfathomable strength, gave a cold snort and disappeared, melting into the grassland. Think you can escape? Zhu Jin wasn't about to give the Green Guardian such a chance. Letting her flee could easily draw in even stronger reinforcements from the Xinling royal family, something he couldn't risk. What is that Xinling king up to now? Muttered the Green Guardian, swiftly moving beneath the prairie. Didn't he promise us safety here in the Earth Palace? Why are so many powerful figures entering this time? No matter how the Green Guardian shifted locations, Zhu Jin stayed right on her trail, his presence relentless. These auras, they're similar to that entity suppressed in the deepest parts of the Earth Palace. Could it be? Their goal is, she whispered to herself, a flicker of understanding dawning. Enough. Time won't wait, Zhu Jin murmured, sensing the Green Guardian's attempt to flee. Raising his hand, a scroll appeared in his palm, one inscribed with an intricate array of 9,000 core inscriptions. Go! With that, Zhu Jin's figure burst forward, vanishing in an instant. The next moment, he reappeared right above the spot where the Green Guardian was escaping across the prairie. Damn it! Although the Green Guardian was at the perfect 8-star Do Emperor level, she hadn't anticipated Zhu Jin's terrifying strength. His sudden appearance startled her, and just as she hesitated, Zhu Jin's palm struck down, the scroll in his hand slamming onto the ground where she hid. The ground, roughly 10 meters wide, instantly cracked open. In the exposed space below, a sight appeared that caught Zhu Jin's attention. Behave yourself and stay put, he said with a calm smile. We aren't here for you. You won't be harmed, but we do need you to cooperate. Despicable, spat the Green Guardian. Some mysterious power activated, trapping her within a complex formation that imprisoned her completely. Even with her perfect 8-star Do Emperor strength, the formation struck a chord of fear. Were it not for Zhu Jin's lack of killing intent, one more surge of the core inscriptions would have easily ended this guardian's life within the formation. "Why have you come to the Earth Palace?" she demanded, confusion evident. The Earth Palace was an agreement between us and the Xinling King. He granted us this secluded place, and we dwell here in peace. Our goal is simply to find someone. We mean you no harm. But you are mistaken on one point, Zhu Jin continued. The Xinling King didn't grant you isolation out of kindness. If the time comes, with his ambition, he wouldn't hesitate to devour you all. Zhu Jin was beginning to see through the Xinling King's motives, finding the old rival shrouded in even more mystery than before, elusive and difficult to decipher. "Perhaps so," she replied quietly, "but we've guarded this land peacefully for thousands of years. It is only right to protect this sanctuary in his name." With those words, her body began to glow, emitting a green light reminiscent of moonlight. "You're insane." Zhu Jin's eyes widened. The Guardian was preparing to self-destruct. "You're the mad ones," she retorted. "If you think you can get past me on the 3rd level, think again." A strange smile played on her lips. "Damn it," Zhu Jin cursed. "What is she planning?" "Grass, earth, air," she whispered, lips moving as if in a silent prayer. "Grant me your power." As she spoke, Zhu Jin noticed countless green lights beginning to converge from across the endless prairie, hurtling toward her trapped form within the formation. "No." Realizing the implications, Zhu Jin watched helplessly as the formation scroll crumbled, dissolving into the air. A miscalculation. Zhu Jin shook his head. He'd activated all 9,000 core inscriptions, a formation powerful enough to restrain a 9-star Do Emperor. But after capturing the Green Guardian, he'd held back, allowing her a chance to regroup, which ultimately led to the formation's collapse. "I don't know who you are," she said, her voice steely. "But today, I, Yuan Lan, will not allow you to pass." Myriad Thorn Burial. As the Green Guardian, Yuan Lan, spoke, a storm of whirling debris and radiant green energy surged, forming a massive, resplendent green flower in the sky. Despite its beauty, the flower radiated lethal power, hurtling straight toward Zhu Jin with deadly force. "Ah," Zhu Jin shook his head, clearly not expecting to need his full strength to deal with a mere perfect 8-star Do Emperor. "Guess I really am getting old," he muttered. From within, a force infused with the dual essence of life and death, black and white, began to unfurl, spreading outward from his body. As Zhu Jin's radiant life and death energy flooded the space, the entire area froze in an instant. Even Yuan Lan's attack hung suspended mid-air, locked in place like ice. With a casual flick of his finger, Zhu Jin shattered the frozen Myriad Thorn Burial in an instant. A half-step Do Xian, Yuan Lan's face grew ashen, the realization dawning on him. "Run." The thought raced through his mind, panic flooding his senses. "You'd rather suffer the consequences than accept mercy?" Zhu Jin scoffed, sending a burst of his radiant life and death energy directly at Yuan Lan, knocking him unconscious. "All taken care of. Let's go." The 4th level of the underground palace, Zhu Jin said, confirming Yuan Lan was out cold. He returned to the group, rejoining Fentian and the others. "Let's move." "But look at you. Needing this much effort against just a perfect 8-star Do Emperor," Fentian chuckled. Zhu Jin flushed at Fentian's remark, clearly embarrassed his struggle had been sensed. He opened his mouth to defend himself, but saw the amused looks on their faces and instead shot a menacing glance at the onlookers, then turned toward the 4th level of the underground palace. With Fentian's group leaving, Calm returned to the 3rd level.